Hello there, my friends. This is your old buddy Ponytail Bob back again to tell you some tales with a twist. This is chapter 2. Chapter 1, I said that I wanted to share some of my life experiences with you, the good, the bad, the triumphs, the tribulations, and all that, to just share what it is that's helped me to get to the place where I am in my life today, which is really just short of 85, being more comfortable than I ever have before. So that's what my purpose is. Chapter 1, I told you the story of the stranger. This is a totally different change of pace. This story is, well, let me say this first. What I've discovered for me about the purpose of life is, very simply, have fun and do no harm. Have fun and do no harm. So this story is all about having fun, and I'm so excited to tell it to you because it happened a long time ago, but it has a wonderful twist in it, and I think you'll enjoy it. I dressed up a life-size mannequin, put him in the front seat, put a caricature mask of former President Tricky Dick-Nixon on there, and him and me, we drove all the way out to California. And almost got thrown into Huskow somewhere in Idaho. So that's the story I'm going to share with you. Chapter 3 will be going back again to another change of pace and something more serious, and that is the loss of my dear friend Ellie Peterson. That will be the next chapter. But anyway, back to my trip with Tricky Dick. I hope you enjoy it like I did all those years ago. And if you do, give it a like. And if you want to hear more, like the story of my dear friend Ellie, click the subscription button, and you get notified when it comes out. And if you choose to make any kind of a comment about it, go ahead, and if you don't mind, begin it with what your age is, because I'd love to know who is listening. So anyway, here's Richard. Well, hello, my friends. This is your old buddy Ponytail Bob. So I said I would tell you some stories about some things that happened in my life, and this was just kind of a crazy, funny one, and kind of appropriate for right now with so much crazy stuff going up and down and sideways and whatever ways in politics. So I'm going to take us back to the time of Richard Nixon, President Richard Nixon, Tricky Dick. I never much liked Tricky Dick Nixon. As a young guy, I guess I saw him debate on TV with John F. Kennedy, first televised presidential debate. But anyway, so about 20 years ago, I decided to take a trip out to California. And one day I was at the Salvation Army, and there was a mannequin there, movable mannequin, stuffed mannequin, life size, and I decided to pick it up for whatever reason. Then a little later, I was at a costume store, and I saw a crazy mask of Richard Nixon, and so I decided what I was going to do. I was going to take that mannequin, I was going to put him in the passenger seat, and I was going to put that Richard Nixon mask there, and I was going to let him be my passenger all the way out to California. That's what we did. Had a rather significant surprise on the way out there that I will tell you about. So we got in the car and we took off for California, and I got all kind of different responses. A lot of people would smile and laugh. Once in a while, someone would give me a unrequested hand signal or something. There were still people that thought Tricky Dick was pretty cool. But anyway, so we go out. We're on our way out there to California. Me and Tricky Dick sitting over there. I'm talking to him. And I would stop. See, I had my van all set up so I could sleep in it, and had a little ice box and all that stuff. Self-contained, save money. And at night, I would pull into a truck stop somewhere, and Tricky Dick would stay in the front seat, and I'd catch some Z's in the back seat there, laying down on the floor on the mattress and stuff. I'd always pull up close to the front, the truck stop, so in the morning I could go in and get my required cup of coffee. So this one evening in question, when this rather unusual thing occurred, we'd pulled into this truck stop as usual, and I'm sleeping in the back, and all of a sudden, it's still, barely getting light, and I hear a lot of noise and commotion outside. It's kind of a surprise. It had been real still, and then all it's kind of noise and commotion and strange sounds. I didn't expect to hear them, so I sat up and looked out the window, and I could see down the road there was a police car that was stopped, just sitting there, motor running, and then a couple minutes later, another police car come driving past that one, and real slow, and drove past and behind my van, real slow. And I don't know what it was. And so anyway, I just laid back down, catch a couple more Z's before I had to go get my coffee. And just laying there, just about to doze off again, all of a sudden, boom, 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 on my van door. Scared the crap out of me. And then I heard somebody shout, "Come out with your goddamned hands up!" And then another boom or two on the door, and my God, I guess it's there. Whoever it is wanting me. So I sat up. My heart's pounding in my chest, and I opened the door, and I stepped out, and they immediately turned me around and put handcuffs on me. I have no idea what in the world is going on. And they say, what, all right, they're shouting at me and everything, and all of a sudden it hit me. Tricky Rick was sitting up in that passenger seat. It's just still dark, get a little light. Obviously, what happened was some early morning employee must have been walking into the truck stop, and he saw Tricky Rick dressed up, sitting in the seat with that mask on, and I'm sure he ran right in and picked up the phone and called and says, "We're about to be robbed." Oh yeah, that's what it is. So all of a sudden I realized that, and I said to the cop, I said, let me explain, and they they were feeling very proud of themselves, they stopped the robbery of the truck stop before it even happened. I'm sure they were thinking they're going to get some kind of special citation or award or something, being the local paper, police force stops, incipient robbery, something like that. But so I, realized I had to explain. So I said, well, let me explain. I said, I was at the Salvation Army and I saw this mannequin and then this Richard Nixon mask I found and I said, I never much liked Richard Nixon, which immediately I knew that probably wasn't a good thing to say because there in Idaho, those cops probably liked Richard Nixon. So anyway, they did listen to my story, and then they looked in the car, with their guns drawn, a tricky Dick mannequin, drawing their guns on him. And finally they realized that there was something wrong with me. They concluded there's something wrong with me to be doing that, and it'd be best if, I would head out. So the officer in charge took the handcuffs off, and he'd say, let me give you a piece of advice. He said, I'd suggest you get into that van of yours and just head on right on out of here and head on over to the next county and, go away. Which I quickly did, and it took about an hour and a quarter for my heart to stop pumping like that. And so, of course, that made me, pretty nervous for the future. And so I decided that the better part of valor from then on, which I did from then on, and I never had any more problems like that, is because every night when I would pull up into the truck stop right up to the front so I could go get my coffee first thing, before I would lay down in the back, I would scrunch Richard Nixon down on the floor and cover him over with a sheet because I was afraid of what might happen if they just saw him crunched down on the floor. They'd think that there was a dead man in my van, and that time it could be even worse than the handcuffs. So that's all about me and Tricky Dick-Nixon.